Hey guys, it's Steph. I'm here with my book review for you for a book that I recently finished on my e-reader about a week and a half ago. I've been kind of sitting here wondering what I'm going to talk about as far as the book goes and really trying to wrap my brain around whether or not I actually liked the book. So, that being said, the book was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is the first book that I've ever read of hers. It might actually be the first one she's ever written. I'm not really sure. So basically the book takes place in the early 1900s and it starts in London and it's about this circus that opens only at night. But the backstory is that there's these two children, Celia and Marco, and they are taken into the care of two magicians from different fields of magic. Yeah, I don't know either. So they're taken into under the care of these two magicians, and they're basically set up to do battle with each other. Now the kids don't know what exactly they're training for, or why, or who their competitor is. And then basically this circus becomes the chessboard. It becomes the battleground for their magic battle. So based on the blurb, it sounded awesome. I'm thinking like try wizarding tournament, but with a boy and a girl, and like maybe they fall in love and then they find out that they're the competitors or something. That's not really what I got. So we're just gonna dive right in. There's probably going to be a couple of spoilers. I'll tell you when there's spoilers so that you can mute me or turn me off, whatever you want to do. So let's get down to it. First of all, I was reading a couple of reviews about this book online because I'm thinking, okay, well maybe I'm just being a little harsh and I'm missing things that other people really enjoyed that I didn't really pick up on. First of all, this is not magical realism. Magical realism are things like 100 Years of Solitude. This is not that. This is not even close to the caliber of that. So, we're going to clear that up right now. It's also, I wouldn't think fantasy. It's just imagination. So, some pros that I will say about the novel are it was extremely well written. I feel like she uses descriptive language very, very well. I felt like when I was reading the words that I was in the circus. These descriptions of the circus tents, of the costumes, of the actual characters in the book, I felt were really great. I could picture them very clearly in my mind. That being said, that is the only redeeming quality I found in the novel. First, the whole idea that it's going to be this like giant duel and that the characters find out that they're madly in love with each other and then they have to do battle and it's going to be like this huge thing. Not the case. So beware, spoilers ahead. Basically, Celia and Marco don't know that they're each other's competitors until the circus comes around and Marco is tasked with helping to set up the circus and find acts for it. And they find Celia and Marco realizes, oh, she's the one. Celia does not know this until halfway through the book. Celia has no idea who her competitor is until halfway through the book. And then she finds out in the same, basically, scene where she also decides she's in love with Marco. Now, they just decided to be in love with each other. There was no electricity, there was no fire, there was no passion. They had literally spent like no time together because Marco doesn't even travel with the freaking circus. So, I don't know what this whole love story portion was about, but it was seriously lackluster. Also, the plot just dragged. This duel that these kids have been prepping for their whole life. This competition has taken 16 years. 16. This is not like a battle. This is just bad. So 16 years go by. They finally realize that the only way to win this battle and to be declared the winner is if the other person dies from doing too much magic. So they decide they're going to, spoiler, 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 they decide they're going to sabotage the contest and one of them is going to quit. The only way to quit is to die. So it's just stupid. I mean, it has no point, because the thing is, I didn't care enough about Celia and Marco to care if one of them died. And I think that's bad for your characters. If you don't care what happens to the protagonist, something's wrong. So it just made, I don't know, it's really hard for me to explain. It just made no sense. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. The writing was beautiful, but the characters were really flat. I felt like there were a whole bunch of tertiary characters who really I had no feeling for. I mean, somebody else died in the book, and I could give two hoots that she died. I just was not interested. So that being said, I'm giving it 2 stars out of 5. A lot of other people really enjoyed it, and that's perfectly fine. It was just not my cup of tea. That being said, you can feel free to rip me a new one in the comments below. You can also follow me on Instagram at BiblioBlurbs or Twitter at BiblioBlurbsFL and on Goodreads at BiblioBlurbs. If there's any books that you can recommend for my February TBR, because we're coming up to that, please feel free to also recommend them. And that's it. Thank you guys so much, and happy reading.